there is talk of approaching bandits and you bother me with unsubtle advances. How very like you, Gao. No doubt a tactic learned from your criminal father.
His name is Gao the Greater, and he built a fortune out of some ragged thieves and slave traders. If my charm can't lift your spirit, I'll buy the ground from under you.
Flaunting your father's undeserved wealth does not impress me, Gao. It only serves to push me further away.
You step beyond your station. She and I are discussing her future.
Thank you, Gao, but I'll pick my own poison. Now leave, and if you'd be so kind, stay downwind.
I won't forget this, Dawnstar. You show great disrespect. You as well. You will not take all the glory if there is an attack. We are not through.
Oh, he is Gao the Lesser in all respects. I thought Master Li allowed him to stay so that the influence of the father could be countered, but Gao never learns. He acts like he's above Master Li's teachings. Such are the conceits of wealth, I suppose. I appreciate that you arrived when you did. That is nice to hear. Gao could learn much from you if he wanted to learn anything from anyone. What does Gao the Lesser ever want? He's convinced that he can buy everything, and that includes people. He's a spoiled little man. I'd rather not dwell on him. Let's not increase his influence by talking about him after he's gone. What is it you wish?
Yes, he said you were coming. He just passed here with C. Pat on his way to help Kia Min. It's strange that simple bandits would launch such a raid.
Master Li was concerned that this would interrupt your training. His respect for your potential is just so absolute. Has he told you any more about your future?
I don't like your bad feelings. They always end up being right. Remember the grass fire? Half of the field's gone in a day, and you knew it would happen.
You said you felt the lightning coming, but not even Master Li knows the weather like that. I trust your instincts. You are full of such promise. I can see into the spiritual, an ability that grants some insight, but it doesn't seem to be useful for anything other than keeping me awake at night. I helped Master Li discover the unrest that shapes your future, but I see only problems, while you are destined to find solutions. I envy you for that. I'm glad. You have always kept your feet on the ground. What does Master Li say? That you should keep the basics close to heart?
Let's go get your weapon from Guzhen's workshop. It shouldn't be too hard to fend off simple bandits. They're foolish to attempt such an attack.
Of course. Good company will make the walk go faster.
When I catch you, woman, you will be sorry.
It's always someone else's fault, isn't it, Gao? This is your mess. I didn't make you kidnap me.
I swear, Dawnstar, my patience is running thin. No! No! Not you! Anyone but you! What are you doing here?
You see that, Gao? That's loyalty and responsibility. Can you even understand those words?
I understand more than you. I did you a favor, but you are too stupid to know a good thing when you're in its grasp.
Being kidnapped was a good thing? You have an odd view of what it takes to impress a woman.
Fools! You'd be dead if it wasn't for me. Everything you have is gone. My father will see to that.
You'll see. Death comes from above to ferret out your hidden master and his real name. Dawnstar was the only thing I wanted to save, and what thanks do I get? Nothing. So be it. I'll just kill you all and forget your pitiful little village ever existed. Then fight. And we'll see who's better outside your pretty school. Even if you win, you've lost elsewhere.
He has earned my ire as well as yours. I will help if I can.
Doesn't matter to me. Master Li isn't here to restrict how I fight. I'll kill you both in time to see the red sky over your village.
He had to know that someone in the village would come for me, although I suspected it would be you. I am grateful. Your friendship has always been a comfort to me. Maybe that was what made Gao so jealous. I don't know. And who is this? I must thank your new acquaintance for his help as well.
Sagacious Zoo. You don't owe me anything. I just helped your young friend through the swamp.
Sagacious Zoo. Well, I am grateful. I don't know what Gao meant by saying he was doing me a favor. How could dragging me here be beneficial? Agreed. I want Master Li to know that we are both safe. It's too bad, though. He wanted to reach Gao. I'm sure of it. Gao just seemed to get more and more bitter. He didn't respond well to discipline. It's too bad.
I will wait by Gao's flyer. He can't object now.
Stop where you are! Death's Hand should know better than to send his minions out alone. It is clear that you are one of his hirelings, or perhaps one of Gao the Greater's marauding pirates. You will pay for the crimes you have committed. Don't waste your last breath on lies. I didn't get there in time to help anyone, but I saw you lead the massacre in Two Rivers. Clearly you were involved. Death's Hand went too far in ordering its destruction, and Gao the Greater sought to profit from it. My retribution will end with them, but it will begin with you. The way you move seems odd. A flaw I cannot see, perhaps? But you are better than I expected. You might even beat me, if I allowed such insolence. You are too skilled to be just a hireling. Death's Hand would view such ability outside his assassins as dangerous, and Gao the Greater prefers his servants docile. So it would appear. You lack their branding. But if you are not one of them, who are you? A monk? A mercenary? A bandit? You chase a great evil, larger than you realize. Leave and you may survive. Others have tried to face Death's Hand, but were destroyed, as Two Rivers was. Your honor sends you toward peril, but you do not flinch from it. A trait of fools. And perhaps the occasional hero. I also seek answers from Death's Hand and his minions. If you truly oppose him, you will need to find your way to the Imperial City. Of course, only the Lotus Assassins can come and go as they please, thanks to Gao. Travel routes by land and water are blocked, but they use wind maps and flyers to further their goals here and in the surrounding forest. Perhaps, if you are capable, we will meet again. I wish you good luck. But you will need far more than that to survive. Farewell.
No, I didn't have anything pressing on my mind. Although your company is always welcome. We seem so far from anything familiar. Strange enemies, troubling plots. I will be glad when we can leave this place to find Master Li. Is there anything you need? I'll do whatever I can to help. I'm not sure I can make my concerns fully understood. Our time in the ruins, the creatures we encountered, so much unrest. This was different from what I have seen before. There is pain here, but hatred too. The spirits around Two Rivers seemed aimless, lost. These are focused. I feel they would linger here, even without the support of whatever has increased the ghosts elsewhere. I suppose that is true. Left behind by their neighbors, literally to die. Could you recover from such abandonment? I'm not sure that I have. I mean, if I had suffered something like that, I'm sure it would have stayed with me. I should not feel bad about it. I was not left to die. I was sent to study at the school, probably so Master Li could deal with my sensitivities. It doesn't compare, really. These spirits, they truly suffered and have a right to turn on those who left them behind. Me? I feel like my abandonment was partially my fault, but I was 3 and I couldn't help being different. I would have tried to fit in if I had been given a chance. I know I shouldn't. I can see the result of such pain in the poor creatures in the ruins. I do not want to suffer such anger, such bitterness. It may not seem like it, but I draw great strength from you and the things you say. I am grateful for that. As always, I have much to think about after speaking with you. Perhaps we can continue this another time.
You may call me Silk Fox. I apologize for my previous aggression, but I thought you were in league with an enemy of mine. I was clearly mistaken. Powerful forces are at work here. You are caught in great events that are beyond you. But I may have use for someone as impetuous as you. Trust? I never said we should trust each other. I don't trust you at all, but our goals may be similar. I want nothing more than for you to continue your journey. You seek the old man who was taken from Two Rivers, correct? Of course you do. He was taken by Death's hand. I could tell you where his minions have gone. For a price. A simple trade. I tell you where the abductors are, and you tell me who that old man is. Sun Li! Ha! You think me a fool? You are either a liar or very, very confused. The glorious strategist has been dead for 20 years. Everyone knows this. You mean to confuse me, but I am not a willing fool. I will let you maintain this deception for now, just to see where it leads. But we share an enemy in Death's hand. For that reason, I will help you. It would take a season to reach the Imperial City by land or water. Air is the only quick way, but you need a wind map. I know the location of one. Lord Yun governs much of the Great Southern Forest. He petitioned the Lotus Assassins for a wind map so he could settle a trade disruption. Of course, that has earned him their attention in addition to whatever trouble is infesting his lands. I doubt he has time for charity, but you might try to find him. I have matters of my own to attend. If you survive, we will see what use you are to me. Remember, if you want to reach the Imperial City, you must go to the forest and get that map from Lord Yun. My path takes me elsewhere. If you actually reach the Imperial City, I will be impressed. Until then, I wish you luck. You are a surprising little peasant.
I'm trying to feel good about what happened at Gao's fortress, the lair of his pirates. We went looking for our master and perhaps another flyer. What we found, I was not prepared for how cruel people could be. Seeing those people with no control over their fates, it is similar to a pain in my past that I have not thought about for a long time. I would not dream of saying my experience is similar to those poor people in Gao's fortress, but that lack of control, I know that well. One of the only things I know about myself is that on the morning I was born, the sky was red, like distant mountains were on fire. Perhaps it was Dirge burning, as Zhu said. I believe it was an ill omen, and that stigma is why my abilities became a burden. That's why I must have been left at the school. To be subject to the whims of someone else just because of what you are, be you slave or outsider. Yes, I know that well. Yes, you are an outsider too, albeit one with power to change your world. I think the slaves in the pirate lair would greatly appreciate your skill in defense. And I would make great use of your confidence. You inspire me to think of the possibilities, not just the problems. I'm gaining an appreciation for the person you are becoming. Perhaps we should speak on these matters again sometime. The forest was a disturbing place. Such destruction. It was horrible, even if it was mostly unseen. Now we have everything we need to follow Master Li's captors to the Imperial City. I am eager to do so after all the resistance we've encountered. Our time in the forest was very troubling to me. To see such distance between the concerns of men and spirits is something I am still getting used to. I have been sensitive to these things for as long as I can remember, but it was not always such a disturbing talent. There used to be harmony. Be serious. This worries me. The world seems to be filling up with wayward spirits. That it affected the forest shadow is very disturbing. It makes me wonder how deep the trouble goes, and what mortals like us are supposed to do about it. What do you think? Master Li thought you were tied to this somehow. Can you comfort me? Your appreciation is just what I was looking for, and I am grateful. I know we will do what we can, even if the world moves in ways we cannot fathom. I am glad we can talk like this. It soothes my mind. I hope we can continue another time.
Identify yourself.
By order of the Emperor and the Lotus Assassins, state your name and purpose for being in the Imperial City.
We are questioning everyone who has arrived in the city recently. You bear a resemblance to someone we are looking for.
I don't know. He is tattooed in a similar way. The clothes could be the same. It's not enough to be sure.
We could hold him anyway. It's not a good match, but the Lotus Assassins would leave us be for a few days while they question him.
Is there a problem here, Captain? Well, is there?
No, Princess Leanne. We were questioning this traveler by order of the Lotus Assassins.
There is no need to pursue this questioning any further. You may go.
My apologies, Princess, but I was ordered to detain anyone even vaguely matching.
Captain, this man is here on a personal matter of mine that does not concern you. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Princess Leanne.
Then unless you wish to be transferred to the wall, you will leave and continue your search. Well, we meet again. I've watched your progress. It seems I underestimated you in Tian's Landing. I have no doubt that you will make as much of an impact on the Imperial City. No guise, I assure you. You have the honor of addressing Princess Leanne, the Heavenly Lily. It is, as you can see, customary to bow in my presence. Your explanation lies in the simple bow you have given. Everyone around me kowtows low, obeying my whims. Honest opinion is rare. That is why I often travel without official escort, and occasionally present myself as someone less bridled by the rules of the court. You understand why I don't go into detail here in the street, don't you? With what I have to tell you, I don't want to lose that option of disguise. Not here. I trust my personal assistants to keep their tongues, but this matter is best discussed in private. I will not speak the location aloud. Take this note. We will meet nearby, but I must have a moment to acquire more fitting attire. That is quite enough. We will continue this at a later time. We both have questions that we will need answered. I'm certain that my entourage would prefer that this take place in private. Your gruff nature is a bit too much for them. I'm sure they are heartfelt. Get up, you lot. I'll be embarrassed for myself, thank you. Save your false modesty for my father's court. Don't be too long. My message concerns your master, and time is very important.
It would not have been proper for her to award it to you herself, but Princess Sun Lian requests that you accept this gift. She looks forward to your next meeting.
The Imperial City. I'd always heard how impressive it was. Stories didn't do it justice.
This is all so much to absorb. I would appreciate your counsel if you have time to speak privately. I don't mean to distract you. I just wanted someone familiar around me for a moment, if only to reassure me that we are still in the Empire I thought I knew. I have long dreamed of reaching the Imperial City, but now that I have, under these circumstances, I am more overwhelmed than ever. But that's what is bothering me. We can't be a long way from home because our home is gone. I can no longer say that what I see is strange or foreign because I have lost what I would have compared it to. I am the one out of place now. I would like that, to know you will be there no matter what. I've never had that stability, at least not before joining the school. As a child, I was marked by ill omens, apparently named for them. The people in Two Rivers were polite, but many did not hide the discomfort I caused them. I was watched, studied. If someone's ox died within a season of me bumping my head, it was somehow my fault, and I was treated like a pariah. How do you deal with being able to sense the spirit world when people make such absurd conclusions? I cannot change who I am, I know. Perhaps I just have to let all of that go. It will not be easy. But I do feel that you have given me a strength I did not have before. I very much appreciate your support. We should continue this discussion later. I have much to think about, and our work here has only just begun.
The Imperial City. I never dreamed I would reach it.
I didn't expect you in your strange training to make it to the Imperial City. You are proving to be a very interesting person. Of course, I could tell that just by looking at you. You have a very strong presence. As the Heavenly Lily, I am above suspicion, but I am restrained by fawning servants. Silk Fox can go anywhere, and people are not shy about their reactions. There is a thrill, of course, and it allows me to find information useful to us both. Death's Hand brought your Master Li to the palace a few days ago. I saw the flyer. He was bound in chains. He must be powerful, but I still don't believe he is Sun Li, the glorious strategist. Sun Li died 20 years ago. Everyone was told that he and Prince Qin, the third brother, fell defending the Empire. Now, it seems they may have been traitors. I discovered this looking through records for information on Death's Hand. Perhaps he tried to influence Sun Li and Sun Qin before corrupting my father. But it doesn't matter who your master is. I could take you to the palace, but Death's Hand controls what my father hears. He must be discredited for you to succeed. Death's Hand has almost total control over my father. We must find conclusive evidence of his crimes and reveal his corruption. And I know how. Construction on the wall has stopped for the first time in generations. The workers now toil in factories building powerful creatures of stone and clay called golems. Death's Hand could use these automatons to seize the Empire, and my father is oblivious. We must infiltrate the Lotus Assassins and find evidence of this treachery. We need proof of Death's Hand's intent from the seat of his power, the Lotus Assassin Fortress. It would be impossible to assault, so just walk in. They are Have any Lotus Assassins who saw your face lived to report back? I doubt it. They will not recognize you as the person who fought them in Tien's Landing. They have a vague description full of guesswork that has guards holding people at random. Besides, they expect an attack, not someone trying to catch their eye. I would wager that you may profit from their tasks too. Can you see the beauty in using their own methods of recruitment to fight them? I think they deserve it. There are guilds within the Lotus Assassins. Executioners look for fearsome warriors. Inquisitors are more subversive, and they look for cunning in their agents. If you prove yourself in the arena, they will notice you. My people can spread rumors of your interest. The Executioner will take a real interest when you finish the silver round. Or if you prefer, the Inquisitor recruiter is also seeking new people. He might be open to persuasion. Death's Hand rules over the Lotus Assassins, so I take special interest in their activities. I've had most of my life to ask questions. You suspect my motives? You have no reason to doubt me. If I wanted the Lotus Assassins to find you, I could simply tell them your name. Yes, I will have my people spread rumors of your interest. Once you pass the silver round, the Executioner will take an interest. I'm sure he will find you as impressive as I do. Or, if you prefer, court the Inquisitor. Ask Scholar Dongao in the Scholar's Garden about him. I hear Dongao is closer to the Assassins than he should be. I will wait at your flyer. Or I could travel with you. Before you get too lost, perhaps we should, discuss how closely we will be working together? A wise preference. No offense intended to your amusing companions. So again, I enjoy our little chats, but I don't think anything has changed since we last spoke. I still need evidence against Death's Hand to free my father. Meet the Executioner in the arena, or speak with Scholar Dongao in the Scholar's Garden about the Inquisitor. Hurry, or you'll lose your chance to help your master. Did you like it? I thought you might want a little assistance. Consider it a small token of my favor. I thank you for your courtesy. A woman always likes to hear when her gifts are appreciated. It is difficult for one of my rank to give gifts, even one so simple as what I gave you. A princess is not normally allowed to show favorites. Better that I give it away before Death's Hand carts it off. He has been quite brazen. Besides, it was mine by birthright to do with as I wish. Must I always be dictated to by tradition, despite my respect for it? Sometimes I want what everyone else has, to be myself. And to be myself, I gave you what I wished. Well, you're polite at least. Most nobles take gifts as a matter of course, especially those from a woman. But the price I may pay for helping you could be greater still. I am destined for the throne, destined to rule the Empire after my father, but that will be meaningless if Death's Hand keeps his hold on my father's mind. I fear one day he may try to interfere with the Imperial succession. Or perhaps convince my father that he should be emperor by marriage. Indeed, we cannot. I would bite my own tongue before ever allowing that man to touch me. I'm sorry, I've ruined the mood. We should continue our talk another time. First, we must expose Death's Hand, reveal his treachery and manipulation.
Yes? I like to think that we can take time to talk about important things. I don't want to seem ungrateful for her help, but having Silk Fox here is causing me some concern. I mean, she is the daughter of the Emperor, and we do not know his role in Master Li's capture. Can she be trusted? To you, perhaps, but not to me. I think I am perceived as a rival, but no one has told me what the game is. The princess, the daughter of the Emperor, is jealous of me? I think the size of our task has addled your senses. What could I possibly have that would make her jealous? What does a woman from the borderlands have that the princess herself does not? Well, that is just foolish, isn't it? You have always been a good friend to me, but I never meant... I mean, I couldn't... No, I should have more control over this. This is too uncertain. You can't manipulate me into admitting something like this. Not when you can leave whenever you want. Don't juggle your words. I am not amused by it. You know very well what I mean. It's probably at the front of your mind all the time for all I know. I prefer to have more control over myself, and as much control over what goes on around me as possible. Silk Fox, or whatever she wants to be called, is an unknown I can't compensate for. I can't stay in balance if I don't know what she represents. You and I, we talk and share thoughts, but she forces me to consider where that might lead, both good and bad. I'm not ready for that. Don't you dare! Oh, you tease so much, I don't know what to do with you. You have become so different since we left Two Rivers. Or perhaps it is me. For all the trouble we face, I feel like a weight is lifting. I think we will have a great deal more to discuss in the coming days. I am looking forward to it. Until then, thank you for being so understanding. Master Li was right. You are special.
Yes, I appreciate the attention, but you have things to do. You've made arrangements to gain the trust of the Lotus Assassins, but haven't followed through. The Executioner wants to see you excel in the arena. Progress far enough, and he will gladly recommend that you be recruited. If you prefer, you could still seek out the Inquisitor by speaking with Scholar Dun Gao in the Scholar's Garden. Your progress is admirable, but don't become too close to the Lotus Assassins. Their power is seductive. That is how Death's Hand gained influence over my father. After the disappearance of my uncle, Sun Qin, the Hand of Heaven, the Imperial Order of the Lotus Monks was directionless. Instead of taking on that role himself, my father gave it to an advisor, Death's Hand. I was only a baby at the time. He did not have enough time. The burden of state is heavy, and he is not a well man. Death's Hand takes advantage of this. Regardless, the Lotus monks were placed in the care of Death's Hand, a duty reserved for royalty. It was almost as if my father took Death's Hand into our family, my family. We have been caretakers of the Empire for generations. We have created a bastion of culture in an otherwise uncivilized world. Death's Hand threatens all of this. It is my duty to see that the natural order is preserved. About me? But why? I mean, there's so much I've told you already. I really don't think that we need any more information to complete our mission. Oh, well, I suppose I could answer a few questions. Although I'm sure more than enough has been said about me by the peasants or others, I am quite used to defending myself from all quarters. Am I really that way? Perhaps I appear to be, but only because I have no other way to fight what is happening. I care deeply about the traditions of this land. It pains me to go against what I try to protect. What other choice do I have? I hope the people speak of other things, how I try to make things right. How very superficial, yet flattering, coming from you. I suppose peasants tend to focus on certain things, given their short and brutish lives. Something to imagine, some perfection to seek. And do you agree with them? Wait, this is further than I thought this conversation would go. This is not proper. I will not allow it. You presume too much. I think we have had quite enough amusement for now. Perhaps we will continue this a little later. I have enjoyed our little talk. You must go to the Lotus Assassin Fortress like we agreed. Find the evidence against Death's Hand, and I will help you rescue Master Li. I don't understand. You've gained the favor of the Lotus Assassins with a fair amount of ease. What else is there to speak of? Is there something you are wondering? About me? I am Princess Sun Lian, the Heavenly Lily. What more are you worthy of knowing? Ah, the shadow behind my public self. How else can a curious princess learn what really happens in her domain? I don't have time to interpret the veiled statements of advisors, so I became a thief, an assassin, whatever I needed to be. People will not speak to the princess. Bad news kills the messenger first. Silk Fox knows how to persuade. That is how I learned about the activities of Death's Hand. There is a freedom in it. I have the resources to go anywhere and the secrecy to do anything. If I wished it, I could be quite carefree. But that is not what I have found in practice. Instead, I see how my father's reign has twisted, and I know I must do something. You announce your questions like a wild animal with no warning of the claws you unleash. Proceed slowly, lest you turn me away. I do not remember ever being allowed to just be a child. My mother died when I was born, shortly before the end of the long drought and the fall of my uncles. I was in the care of tutors too afraid to punish me and too ingratiating to teach me anything useful. I quickly found ways to sneak away from the palace. They dared not report my excursions for fear they would be punished. They would scurry around all day trying in vain to find me. Yes, it was. I didn't fully understand the risk and made some mistakes. But in the end, what I have become is a result of that. In the city, I met the people. The peasants, the homeless, the thieves. It was a much different world from what you see from the palace. They never realized who I was. I'm sure they would have been terrified of the army storming in to rescue me. Most just wanted to be left alone. That life was exciting, but also useful. Even Lotus assassins overlook the beggar on the street, but she still has eyes and ears. I do not remember ever being allowed to just be a child. My mother died when I was born, shortly before the end of the long drought and the fall of my uncles. I was in the care of tutors too afraid to punish me and too ingratiating to teach me anything useful. I quickly found ways to sneak away from the palace. They dared not report my excursions for fear they would be punished. They would scurry around all day trying in vain to find me. Yes, it was. I didn't fully understand the risk and made some mistakes. But in the end, what I have become is a result of that. In the city, I met the people. The peasants, the homeless, the thieves. It was a much different world from what you see from the palace. They never realized who I was. I'm sure they would have been terrified of the army storming in to rescue me. Most just wanted to be left alone. That life was exciting, but also useful. Even Lotus assassins overlook the beggar on the street, but she still has eyes and ears. That's better. I like that you listen, although your request is still very improper, unless you make me a little more comfortable. I have already shared something of myself. Can you tell me something about you? Is there anyone that you care for? A noble. How romantic. Aloof. Separate by class and breeding. Unattainable for a peasant, normally. Wanting someone you can never have. Love you can never show in public. Such loneliness should not exist. I have contributed to that. The princess behaves as she should, reinforcing the very rules I despise, all to protect Silk Fox. Which one am I? I should not be ungrateful. Everything in my life is dedicated solely to making me happy, but I am at odds with so much. I am always behind a mask, not just when I am Silk Fox. I am not allowed to show an interest in politics, defending the Empire, or even spontaneous affection. You were amusing at first, but now I am drawn further than I meant to be. What do you suppose I should do about that? I have tried to make a place for myself. It was difficult, but I have succeeded, despite Death's Hand or my father or what people think. The Jade Empire has had strong female leaders before. Most met with unfortunate ends. At critical junctures, they were abandoned. Whatever I decide, about the Empire or about you, can I count on you to be here? You asked me about my first love. It was the Empire and its people. There might be room for another, given time and effort. I don't think I will shatter any grand conventions of the Empire by courting outside the list of pockmarked nephews of statesmen. You and I will have much to discuss after we have restored my father. I am looking forward to it.
I suppose it is good that the Lotus Assassin Executioner accepted you. I wish I felt better about that. Will you be heading to the Lotus Assassin Fortress soon? When you are through there, the princess will take us to the palace. At least, that's what she promised. We are much closer to finding our master, but the path you are forced to take worries me, and I don't think the princess shares my concern. We have faced these Lotus Assassins in small numbers before, but this is something different. I see the necessity of walking in their steps to fool them, but I am growing accustomed to you, and I don't want to see this change you. You embarrass me with such forward questions, but I think I like that as well. It bothers me that you risk so much to walk in the shadow of the enemy. You fought through the arena with your honor intact, but the Lotus Assassins will press you to commit far more vicious acts. I don't want to win if it claims the good in you. What right do we have to harmony if we sacrifice what we believe to get it? I know you won't, but it still does my heart good to hear it. The more I know about you, the more I want you to stay as you are. It would be a shame for something to happen when we are becoming close. We will talk again. I know everything will work out just fine.
Go any further. I think we need to talk about a few things.
I agree.
What is that child doing here? Can she not spare us a moment's peace from her prattle?
I thought we should talk before... Well, this could be very dangerous.
Both of us, I wonder?
You cheapen the importance of this, princess. He could die in there.
I am unaccustomed to admissions of this kind, but the situation demands no less. I want proof of Death's Hand's misdeeds, but there is more at stake. You must be very careful. If they learn your identity, you will face the whole fortress. As strong as you are, I don't think you would live to discredit Death's Hand. I don't want to lose you in a place like this. You could die here, and I wanted to say I would find that very unfortunate.
Princess... No. You pretend about too much to be genuine in this. Honest affection comes from years of growth. Even if it was only recently discovered.
Ah, but that is not always an option. Sometimes there are difficult choices that must be made.
Yes, much like the danger we must choose to face, and deciding whose heart you think of to get you through such times.
Well, of course you want to keep everyone together. How else are we to function as a team? I cannot fault you for trying to be an effective diplomat.
That's not what this is about. I was looking for a more personal assurance of... something.
I am not certain what this means, but I am sufficiently intrigued to let it pass for now.
You phrase things in such a way that I feel I am equal with a princess. That brings me comfort, even if the rest of this is a bit confusing.
I imagine it would be, little Dawnstar. We shall have to see if anything comes of it. For now, I believe we are done here. Take care within the Assassin's Fortress. To save your master, you must expose Death's Hand. And when you have succeeded, the three of us can expand on what you have suggested.
Hurry to the palace. I hate it that Master Li is trapped there. Who knows what the Emperor is doing with him?
My father will explain. Death's Hand is behind this. You will see.
It is just about time, isn't it? The Emperor or Death's Hand or whoever can only keep us from our master for so long. So much has happened to get us here. Our hard work, the loss of Sagacious Zoo. I'm looking forward to having our questions answered. I also don't want to worry about you anymore. What if you were next to fall? I think I trust you now, but I'm not sure what should come next. This seems like such an uncertain time to be making plans for the future. I feel selfish for trying to find peace while this war of ours continues. When we free Master Li, that will be the more appropriate time for this. I doubt you need any more incentive, but I am glad I have that effect. Now it is just up to the princess to keep her word. And we can end this. Everything will be all right again. I know it.
I thank you, but this has been a great deal to absorb. I don't know what to think about anything. We still have much to talk about, but it will have to wait. I must speak to my father. Forgive me. We are nearly to the throne room. Although my father has let these unseen parts of the palace fall into disrepair, these chambers are the tombs of past leaders. We would be here for days, and you likely know the most prominent anyway. Sagacious Tien, the first emperor, founder of the Jade Empire, and builder of the wall. Cormia, the swift arrow, defender of the First Age and commander of the borderlands during the Horse Lord incursions. Sangsi, the broken bow, the first woman to rule openly. She changed more in a single valiant battle than many others did with entire campaigns. The latest tombs belong to the Emperor's brothers, Prince Sun Li and Sun Qin. You have caused me to doubt this, but here they are for your own eyes to see. That is what you said he told you, but here is the tomb of the glorious strategist before you. Is this all a lie? No, they have been sealed for 20 years. I don't have any more proof than what was announced to the people. I don't know what that is worth anymore. And your next question will be, what is in there if the brothers aren't? I can't say, but my father will explain everything. He has to. But your conviction is disturbing. I will definitely bring this up with my father when we confront him. We are close to the throne room. The longer we take, the more questions I have. Here it is, the entrance to my father's throne room. I doubt he'll take this intrusion kindly, especially not with the information we've learned. I don't know what my father has done, or what his reaction will be, but I want you to know something. I care for you, and I want to explore what we mean to each other in more intimate surroundings. We have to face my father, but afterwards we must sort out this mess you have created, this confusing tangle of hearts you keep at your beck and call.
I agree. If I am in your heart, say so. I will not be a secondary plaything of yours.
So perceptive, and such a skillful tongue.
You are a vulgar woman, Princess.
And you lie to yourself about it. But that is a topic for another day. The Emperor awaits. I can only hope that my father has been the victim in this. I pray he has the answers I seek. The fate of the Empire depends on it. We have to make sure we survive.
All is not lost. Hear me.
We must go to Dirge.
What? Why?
We must go to Dirge, quickly. There's no time to explain. You are here, alive! We thought you were dead, and then I had visions of the strangest things.
Dawnstar guided us to this place, but I expected a ghost, not flesh and blood.
Oh, you walk in the parks of many gods. I will build something extra large to explode with my surprise.
ونوير كوب ثائير ثانير أكون أصو سيير سكوت أفيفير نوني.
Few things are more dangerous than the interest of the heavens.
Pardon the intrusion, but might I add the entire army of the Emperor to that list? Or is that too small a thing for your attention?
Lo yowir apafwe ir sir sisitsu towir ok piir okir ikuir wo.
Your former master, my uncle, has taken the Jade Empire as his own. Emperor Sun Li has set the whole of his forces against us, and we are trapped here in Dirge. After you defeated my father, and Li struck you down, he claimed both your amulet and the heart of the water dragon and announced that his rule had begun. The Lotus Assassins were his almost immediately. Your amulet must have allowed him to quickly do what it took my father years to accomplish. We had no choice but to flee. In the days after, the new Emperor did not seem overly concerned with capturing us, and we did not know where to go.
He didn't consider us a threat. We had no way of fighting him. Just as with Sun High, only a spirit monk can face him with hope of success.
That's why we came here. Dawnstar's vision seemed impossible, but any hope was better than none.
Unfortunately, Emperor Sun Li sensed your stirrings in the spirit realm as well, and now we are trapped. Only one path is passable by foot, and that is the route they are coming up. We cannot sneak past such a horde.
My marvelous dragonfly will not survive the passage either. The winds force a certain path, and the army's flyers are guarding it well. But that is our luck, as well as our sorrow. Their inferior flyers can barely stay aloft in such currents. They will not overrun us from the air, at least not in numbers.
We have a little time. They are still at the base of the mountain. I'd say the main force won't be here until tomorrow.
We will start securing the temple. The great gates of this place will grant us some valuable time. At least they will not take us by surprise.
Fortifications? Perhaps I will remove some of the ordnance from the marvelous dragonfly. Properly applied, it may prove useful tomorrow. Come, whirlwind, I need your muscle.
That's the Black Whirlwind. And as long as it makes the coming fight more interesting, I'll lift whatever you want.
That is all we can do for now. Tomorrow will decide our fates. We should all get some rest. But if I could have a word with you when the others have gone, I need to speak with you. I was wondering when we'd find time to be alone. Everyone has been hovering about you since you got back. I have been afraid to talk to you. I worry that you might have changed, that you might have forgotten me. Do you remember the hearts you left behind? I'm not the only one waiting for an answer. Your death left us shaken. It seemed like an eternity before Dawnstar had that vision of the water dragon, before we knew you might return. We consoled each other. Dawnstar and I started talking, got to know each other better. We learned a few things about you, about how we felt about you. If you had to make a choice between me and her, would you? Could you? Who would it be? Ah, it's just like we thought. Poor, poor, lovable man caught by feelings he can't stop. I never imagined that I'd love someone like you.
And neither did I.
We are victorious. But how long will this peace last?
The day already drags like an overloaded ox. Our enemies should be more efficient.
I do not shy from meaningful combat, but eliminating your boredom is not a worthwhile cause to fight for.
If there's no wine, there should be fighting. That's the way of things for a warrior.
We should not take much longer to lick our wounds, even if the victory was ours. No doubt the enemy awaits us.
A good idea. It will allow for some adjustments to the marvelous dragonfly. The landing here was rough.
I have seen everything that I believe in torn apart, one after another. Hopefully it is all over soon. The sins of my family must be dealt with. Only then can the Empire regain the glory it has lost. I will make certain of it. You and I are owed that reward. Power is nothing. My family has proven that great strength only amplifies the mistakes made. With the wisdom I bring to your side, I know the Empire will prosper.
So many changes. The Jade Empire is not the place I once thought it was.
What Master Li has done is unforgivable. We have to set things right and undo the evil he has put in motion. I know, and perhaps the greatest and hardest of those is yet to come. So much is on your shoulders. I do not envy you, but I will be with you, my friend. We will make sure the Empire does not fall to the desires of a corrupted few. I hope there is room left in you for compassion. 2 others before you have walked the road of power and corruption. Please learn from their mistakes. I know everything will be fine. You will see to it. I will treasure this moment for as long as I live. To have a hand in such a creature's destiny, it is an honor.
This was nearly overwhelming. My eyes were not meant to see such things.
Yes, your master. He made this possible. I don't know how much help I will be against him.
We have to try. I can't leave here knowing I didn't try.
We will try. There is nothing else we can do.
I'm a better teacher than I thought.
The Imperial City. I'd always heard how impressive it was. The stories didn't do it justice.
This is all so much to absorb. I would appreciate your counsel if you have time to speak privately.
I don't mean to distract you. I just wanted someone familiar around me for a moment, if only to reassure me that we are still in the Empire I thought I knew. I have long dreamed of reaching the Imperial City, but now that I have, under these circumstances, I am more overwhelmed than ever. Get tough. I am quite capable of defending myself physically. Are you suggesting I harden my heart more than it already is? I already feel like an outsider. What good is there in pointless rage? I have no desire to spend my days growing bitter over things I can't change. I appreciate what I think you're saying, but the sentiment is so harsh. I don't want to become like the people who pushed me aside. As a child, I was marked by ill omens, apparently named for them. The people in Two Rivers were polite, but many did not hide the discomfort I caused them. I was watched, studied. If someone's ox died within a season of me bumping my head, it was somehow my fault, and I was treated like a pariah. How do you deal with being able to sense the spirit world when people make such absurd conclusions? I always just felt like a victim, but perhaps, like now, I was just out of place. Is that what you mean? I should feel superior because they did not understand me? I did not expect this conversation to take this turn, but I still feel better. I'm not quite comfortable with it yet, but I begin to see what has made you so strong. I would like to continue this later. As always, I have much to think about after speaking with you.
Yes? I like to think that we can take time to talk about important things.
I don't want to seem ungrateful for her help, but having Silk Fox here is causing me some concern. I mean, she is the daughter of the Emperor, and we do not know his role in Master Li's capture. Can she be trusted? To you, perhaps, but not to me. I think I am perceived as a rival, but no one has told me what the game is. I am not! Why would you suggest that? And why did you smirk? Are you trying to pit us against each other? Does it amuse you to see people compete for your affection? Your affection. Did I just say that? Well, damn you for being right. The situation is useful? Is that what I am here for? To be used? Will I be cast aside when you are done? This is how it starts, you know. Soon there will be whispers and strange looks. I've seen that before. I don't want to be a part of this. Not when you can leave whenever you want. What? What do you mean? Well, I don't know, I'm not used to thinking about that. I always felt that what came next was in someone else's hands. I've never been given that kind of choice before. I deserve not to be cast aside. I deserve better. I should fight more. I should spit more. I should slap the princess in her smirking face, and I should look at you without fear of what might happen. Because if I grow to need you and you leave, ancestors help me, you will regret it. Am I? Perhaps you should worry if you are worthy of mine. That is what you wish, isn't it? That I assert myself? I did not intend for this to go as far as it has this quickly. I am startled by what you bring out of me. I need time to think. You have introduced me to some interesting ideas. I thank you for that. I think I have been weak for too long. I suppose it is good that the Lotus Assassin Executioner accepted you. I wish I felt better about that. Will you be heading to the Lotus Assassin Fortress soon? When you are through there, the princess will take us to the palace. At least, that's what she promised.
It seems like such a long path, but we are getting closer to Master Li and those who took him. I am concerned about what is coming.
After all, the lair of the Lotus Assassins may hold a tempting power. Nor should you. I know your strength and how you place yourself above all others. You have shown how effective your way of thinking can be. I know that if there is any power to be taken from the Lotus Assassins, you will take it. I am not concerned about that. Any help would be useful to us, despite the source. I am more concerned that their presentation might be seductive. You will not forget that our mission is to free our master, will you? If you subjugated the whole of their order, that would be very useful to us indeed. I wouldn't be against that. We could use them to our advantage against their leaders. I knew you would stay true to our cause. If we turn the powers of our enemy against them, more the better. It would be good to see someone else suffer for a change. Do I? I suppose I don't have the patience to let people change on their own anymore, but not many deserved it. You helped me to see that, and I am grateful, even if it is taking me a while to get used to this darker view of the world. As long as you stay with me, I know everything will work out just fine. I've changed because of you, for you. I'm glad. I won't lose you, or the chance to save Master Li. I can't. Can we get back to the task at hand? There will be time to speak about this later, when we get this hateful world back to normal. I just want this to be over so we can build new lives.
You must go to the Lotus Assassin Fortress like we agreed. Find the evidence against Death's Hand, and I will help you rescue Master Li. I don't understand. You've gained the favor of the Lotus Assassins with a fair amount of ease. What else is there to speak of? Is there something you are wondering? About me? I am Princess Sun Lian, the Heavenly Lily. What more are you worthy of knowing? I do not remember ever being allowed to just be a child. My mother died when I was born, shortly before the end of the long drought and the fall of my uncles. I was in the care of tutors too afraid to punish me and too ingratiating to teach me anything useful. I quickly found ways to sneak away from the palace. They dared not report my excursions for fear they would be punished. They would scurry around all day trying in vain to find me. Yes, it was. I didn't fully understand the risk and made some mistakes. But in the end, what I have become is a result of that. In the city, I met the people. The peasants, the homeless, the thieves. It was a much different world from what you see from the palace. They never realized who I was. I'm sure they would have been terrified of the army storming in to rescue me. Most just wanted to be left alone. That life was exciting, but also useful. Even Lotus Assassins overlook the beggar on the street, but she still has eyes and ears. Ah, the shadow behind my public self. How else can a curious princess learn what really happens in her domain? I don't have time to interpret the veiled statements of advisors, so I became a thief, an assassin, whatever I needed to be. People will not speak to the princess. Bad news kills the messenger first. Silk Fox knows how to persuade. That is how I learned about the activities of Death's Hand. There are many excuses for a vain princess to retreat from sight for days, even weeks at a time. My father encourages such getaways. And if courtiers ever discovered that I was not where I said I would be, who would dare question the Heavenly Lily? I may eschew the formality of it, but being the daughter of the Emperor still has its privileges. It would be very improper for someone of my standing to say anything, unless you make me a little more comfortable. I have already shared something of myself. Can you tell me something about you? Is there anyone that you care for? A noble. How romantic. Aloof. Separate by class and breeding. Unattainable for a peasant, normally. Wanting someone you can never have. Love you can never show in public. Such loneliness should not exist. I have contributed to that. The princess behaves as she should, reinforcing the very rules I despise, all to protect Silk Fox. Which one am I? If the freedom you suggest is there, I have never felt it. I have hidden within this costume so I would not have to conform to what others want. It feels more like a retreat than a victory. I can show strength, certainly, but only by hiding my true nature. As princess, I cannot pick and choose what rules of the Empire I follow, not if I'm trying to restore the glory it once had. You tease me with a friendship that has no future. I have many suitors in both of my guises, but you draw me in like no other. How have you done this? Why have you done this? Now you sound like a revolutionary. I no longer know if you speak of personal desires or the fate of the Empire. Perhaps you see them as the same. You asked me to tell you of my first love. Until this moment, it was the Empire. Until this moment. Now I see how I have been a slave to tradition, how I have worked to save an empire that does not satisfy me. When we take control back from Death's hand, there will be changes. After all, things got this way because of foolish weaknesses. Silk Fox will be getting quite a bit of attention from now on. If I decide that some of it will be yours, you will know. You may regret what you have done here. Do you know what it will take to satisfy me now that what I want is so important? We will have much to discuss once we dispose of Death's hand. I look forward to a stimulating conversation.
So this is the lair of the enemy? We are really going inside. Wait, I should say something. If only...
Wait!
Oh, she would find her way here. Is there anywhere free of her influence?
Sorry to disturb such a touching scene, but I have a sizable investment in this, and there are things that should not go unsaid. Both of us, I wonder?
You cheapen the importance of this princess. He could die in there.
I am unaccustomed to admissions of this kind, but the situation demands no less. I want proof of Death's hand's misdeeds, but there is more at stake. You must be very careful. If they learn your identity, you will face the whole fortress. As strong as you are, I don't think you would live to discredit Death's hand. I don't want to lose you in a place like this. You could die here, and I wanted to say I would find that very unfortunate.
Princess... No. You pretend about too much to be genuine in this. Honest affection comes from years of growth. Even if it was only... recently discovered.
Ah, but that is not always an option. Sometimes there are difficult choices that must be made.
Yes, much like the danger we must choose to face, and deciding whose heart you think of to get you through such times.
Well, of course you want to keep everyone together. How else are we to function as a team? I cannot fault you for trying to be an effective diplomat.
That's not what this is about. I was looking for a more personal assurance of something.
I am not certain what this means, but I am sufficiently intrigued to let it pass for now.
You phrase things in such a way that I feel I am equal with a princess. That brings me comfort, even if the rest of this is a bit confusing.
I imagine it would be, little Dawnstar. We shall have to see if anything comes of it. For now, I believe we are done here. Take care within the Assassin's Fortress. To save your master, you must expose Death's Hand. And when you have succeeded, the three of us can expand on what you have suggested. The more I think about the information you found, the more I need answers straight from my father. I thank you, but this has been a great deal to absorb. I don't know what to think about anything. We will talk again. This distraction will not last forever. My father must answer to these claims. Then we can deal with more pleasurable topics.
Hurry to the palace. I hate it that Master Li is trapped there. Who knows what the Emperor is doing with him?
My father will explain. Death's Hand is behind this. You will see.
Don't go too far.
Hurry to the palace. I hate it that Master Li is trapped there. Who knows what the Emperor is doing with him?
What did you want to talk about? We are very close to our goal now, aren't we? I'm growing impatient for answers. We have pushed against the walls blocking our way, and it's about time we broke through. After suffering so much and losing Sagacious Zoo, I think this Emperor owes us a great deal. I think we are owed time to be safe together. If you were the next to fall, I would never forgive you. Smirk all you like, but the threat is real. I feel selfish pushing for what I want while this war of ours is ongoing, but I will have no such reservations when it is done. I am looking forward to something for the first time in a great while. You should not disappoint me. I doubt you need any more incentive, but I am glad I have that effect. Now it is just up to the princess to keep her word. And we can end this. Everything will be all right again. I know it.
There it is. The entrance to my father's throne room. I doubt he'll take this intrusion kindly, especially not with the information we've learned. I don't know what my father has done, or what his reaction will be, but I want you to know something. I care for you, and I want to explore what we mean to each other in more intimate surroundings. We have to face my father, but afterwards we must sort out this mess you have created, this confusing tangle of hearts you keep at your beck and call.
I agree. If I am in your heart, say so. I will not be a secondary plaything of yours.
So perceptive, and such a skillful tongue.
You are a vulgar woman, Princess.
And you lie to yourself about it. But that is a topic for another day. The Emperor awaits. I can only hope that my father has been the victim in this. I pray he has the answers I seek. The fate of the Empire depends on it. I was wondering when we'd find time to be alone. Everyone has been hovering about you since you got back. I have hesitated to talk to you. I wanted to be sure of what I would say, to be sure that you were still the person I cared so much about. Do you remember the hearts you left behind? I'm not the only one waiting for an answer.
You're
Death left us shaken. It seemed like an eternity before Dawnstar had that vision of the water dragon, before we knew you might return. We consoled each other. Dawnstar and I started talking, got to know each other better. We learned a few things about you, about how we felt about you. If you had to make a choice between me and her, would you? Could you? Who would it be? Ah, it's just like we thought. Poor, poor, lovable man caught by feelings he can't stop. I never imagined that I'd love someone like you.
And neither did I.
I find this matter most unsettling.
What? He's a damn good fighter. Better to have him as an ally than an enemy.
He's not an ally, he's enslaved.
He is more useful the way he is. He did a great deal of damage. We could use him to repair it.
Can you blame us? There is an unsettling new presence in the group.
An odd kind of trophy to collect. Very hard to display without reaction.
I do not like what this means, especially for your ability to make it happen. I am also surprised that the princess has not stood up for her relative.
Let his spirit rot. It is not as if the honored Prince Kin did not earn his fate, much as Sky earned his.
I do not like that he is here. It seems cruel, even if he was our enemy.
Tools must be respected, but they are still just tools.
That could apply to any of us. That is why this is cause for concern.
I cannot support this. His spirit should be allowed some peace. I can't follow you if you approve of this.
I don't care if he goes or stays, but the twisting of a man's soul should not be allowed.
Such a thing is not natural. I won't follow you if this continues. I'd rather face my wife again.
Onoir kupta ta niir kun aso. Siir sukut akifir noni. Kupthir son puno suuku sir sisitsu toir ok.
Another surprise from your time among the dead. You continue to be an extraordinary person.
You would strip away my will? What is my loyalty worth if it is forced?
I could suffer the imprisonment of my body, but having my mind taken would be a horror. You know me. This would be unbearable. Won't you listen to reason?
If it must be done. Come on, let's get this over with so we can get to our next battle.
It would seem that the group is again of one mind.
Who cares what brings them to the front line, as long as they fight when they get there?
What choice do I have? You have taken my will. I will follow you to the ends of the Empire, but it will mean nothing.
Pretty little thing, forced to see what it truly takes to attain power in this world. A tragedy I am lucky to witness.
I hold more pity than hatred for Death's Hand now. He endured this for 20 years.
It might not have been necessary if you had shown proper loyalty. Certain acts may seem unseemly, but we fight a greater evil.
A greater tragedy is how you have fallen. If you accept this, what of your beloved empire? What will become of it when our leader's evil replaces Master Li's?
While I do not wish to take sides in the management of my fellows, I must agree that we need to move forward.
Kukawuk takti yil. Wapanir nisa irpan.
A good idea. It will allow for some adjustments to the marvelous dragonfly. The landing here was rough. I will ferry whom I can for an initial assault. Give me a few moments. We will leave at your command when my work is done.
I have seen everything that I believe in torn apart, one after another. Hopefully it is all over soon. The Empire has suffered at the hands of fools for too long. Wait until they see the new Emperor I am bringing them. Sun Li is a fool. If a member of the royal family is to be enslaved in Death's hand, he should at least be incompetent. We will make things right. Tomorrow will bring a new rule. I know it. Let the heavens try and stop it. I doubt they have that power anymore. For 20 years, a fool has misused a wonderful gift. If the opportunity to make use of that strength is given, I hope you make the right choice for the Empire and us.
Don't look at me. It is bad enough I feel your will within my mind. I don't want to see your face. My eyes may do as you command, but they will hold no affection for you. There is no strength in this. Only the most insecure leader would command such forced obedience. Are you so fearful of opposition? Poor child, grasping for control. Just go.
This is what your Master Li allowed. For 20 years, my body has bled, separate from the spirit, feeding the Empire and the Emperor. It is an agony that you cannot fathom. To have fallen so far into the hands of men, rebirth is impossible while this continues.
No!
By all the heavens.
Forgive us, great dragon. Our mortal kin are ignorant, foolish, unkind. These crimes will not go unanswered.
Such a clumsy means to power. They had to know this act would be punished.
Every freedom I cherish is violated by this.
As was commanded, the beast was cut open to sustain the Empire, for the good of all, the greatest evil.
You small creatures, you heard the sounds of battle, but are you truly prepared? What will become of your world if my kind fall to the same evils that plague you? Your Master Li must be stopped. The Empire must find balance without the flow of heart water he has unleashed. The reign of Emperor Sun saw my abuse, but Sun Li, the glorious strategist, laid the plans. One could not occur without the other. It was never his intent to let Brother Hai rule. Had his plan initially succeeded, your master would be Emperor, and you would have been destroyed with the others of your kind.
It was supposed to be a new era, but even I did not know his true intent.
Water flows from the wound that will not heal in the body that cannot die. part of me functions as an aspect of our world, elemental in nature. It was never meant to flow free. It is not infinite. The Jade Empire is green, but somewhere another land goes thirsty. All things are linked.
Their concerns were for the Empire alone. Nothing else mattered.
You are a spirit monk, charged with guarding the order of things. You were not born to this role, but as the last, a solemn duty falls at your feet. I cannot be healed. My body has been cut open, my heart removed. I should rejoin the Great Wheel, but I am defiled and cannot rest. Rebirth can only come when my essence is free. To defeat your master, you must stop the power he draws from me. Soon he will be too strong, even for you. Emperor Sun did not have the amulet. He had to draw my essence slowly, or it would overwhelm him. Even so, it took a horrible toll on his body. Your master does not have to be so cautious. The amulet is not a source of power, but it is a focus. He partakes of energy that mortals were never meant to hold. He laps at it greedily, expecting your return. You must destroy the source of that power. You must destroy my body. When he falls, all that is mine will then rejoin my spirit. Rebirth.
To what end? Look what has become of our master. Look what he has been a part of.
Interesting. This power could be used to strengthen the Empire instead of one man.
I do not think the mind of a mortal was meant to hold such ability.
This is where it begins. A question of similar intent was the start of all our grief.
Beware what you say, for you are still mortal and open to the same weaknesses he and his brothers displayed. It seems that you learned your lessons in the spirit realm a little too well. Yes. Blood from your mortal companions could be used to poison my body. The energy flowing to Sun Li would be disrupted, making him vulnerable. Defeat him, and my power would remain trapped in this body, for you to use. You could claim his place, become a god. As the blood poison waned, your power would surpass his and eventually consume my very being. But the water that flows from me now sustains the Empire. If you poison my body, you poison wherever that water flows. You would taint the heart of the Empire.
Better than what? Free choice?
Yes, a firm hand could shape a great empire.
For whom would you make things better? Everyone, or just those who pleased you?
To make things better, that was our wish. We failed.
Okir okun wampir wo apafawa ir wo sa'ir sankut.
And you have earned that right. I am with you.
I do not want to be a part of this. If I were not bound, I would beg you to stop.
You are a far greater evil than I imagined. My mistake was ever giving my loyalty in the first place.
The horror of this! Please, see the consequences and remember who you are!
Wo oka wunir inatir nofun. Panir shakshir wo wo sir nikorpak.
bleed, though I am sustained by other forces. Withdraw that energy if that is your wish. A part of me yearns for it.
I welcome this choice. The mistakes of my family can lead to your victory.
It is that simple? You can simply order his death and he falls? If you risk the Empire, should you not have to risk yourself?
You again show the rewards of loyalty to your cause. Does this amuse you, or is he simply the easiest to abuse?
This shell has long been tainted by the misuse of my power. It should be put to rest, not used to further the crime that sustained it.
Let me fight for you. There's so much death here, and none yet by my blades.
Yes, show me you have the strength to craft an empire.
This is what you want? Then the friend I knew is well and truly dead at Master Li's hand.
I have no choice, though I know I will not win. Come.
This I really don't care for. Someone, help!
If they fight for me, they will benefit from my influence as you have, Spirit Monk. The heavens guide your hands. Pray it is enough.
Longsword.
Now we must go to the throne room. Sun Li will be waiting.